From a secret champion to the fastest possible push, here are Clash Royale card facts you missed. Number 1. Anyone who's ever used a miner knows that once underground, nothing can really touch it. Well, in 2016, the log could push an underground miner back for half a second, which was pretty useless, but cool nonetheless. Number 2. Archers can fully counter a literal P.E.K.K.A. Placement has to be very accurate, being exactly 4.5 tiles from the bridge. Anything else and you'll want to throw your phone. Number 3. Did you know you can clone a building? Yeah. There was once a glitch where you could clone a goblin drill if you had precise enough timing. Now that's overpowered. Number 4. The card with the highest win rate is actually the Giant, at a win rate of 62.2%. The Giant is used in a load of different decks, the most successful one being this weird Night Witch variant. The reason this deck works so well is because this Giant Night Witch combination is great for destroying, while the Bowler and Inferno Tower are amazing for defense. Number 5. You can activate your King Tower against a Bowler. While instances are really rare, I did find an example on Reddit. I tried recreating the video and found Bowler shoots a lot farther than you'd actually expect it to, reaching 7.5 tiles. You can activate your tower if the Bowler is in this position in the arena. Number 6. The Ice Wizard is kind of a ripoff from Supercell. When shown in the trailer, it looked like an unstoppable freeze killer, but in game, Ice Wizard wasn't too bad. At least up until the balance change when Fireball could just kill it. I mean, compare the trailer with reality. Disappointing, Supercell. Number 7. The Elixir Golem is a pretty annoying card to deal with, but originally, it was supposed to look like this. This card was meant to be a legendary, and had a cryptic description saying, spend all your elixir to determine the stats based on the amount, while the Elixir Golem game description goes, splits into 2 Elixir Golemites when destroyed. The Elixir Golem's description makes much more sense. Number 8. You could activate the King Tower by logging a bomb tower, but this was fixed recently and no longer has any effect. Number 9. The Goblin Hut is taken from the huts in Clash of Clans. If you take a direct image of the two and compare them, they look extremely similar, the only difference being the horns on Clash Royale's version. Furnace is also taken from Clash of Clans, the pot looking nearly identical in both games. Number 10. An Elixir Collector can fully counter an Electro Giant if placed in this position. Realistically, you won't be able to do this in game because your opponent is going to have a spell or something, so don't try this at home. Number 11. The Battle Healer can fly over the river, which makes her an actual angel. Number 12. The Goblin Gang was released as a unit, spawning 3 goblins and 3 spear goblins. Separately, this would cost 4 elixir, but the Goblin Gang only cost 3. This made the Goblin Gang almost too powerful, which led to a nerf removing one of the spear goblins. Supercell recently added the spear goblin back, though, because of the low usage rate of the Goblin Gang. Safe to say, more people are going to be using it now. Number 13. P.E.K.K.A. can't 3-crown a tower by itself, even if left undefended. The same applies for Electro Giant, Giant, Elite Barbarians, and honestly, any other card. The only chance a single card will score a 3-crown by itself is if it's overleveled or accompanied with a spell, such as Rage or Freeze. Number 14. Barbarian Barrel went through 13 balance changes, so many to the point that the Barbarian Barrel actually used to knock back cards. It cost 3 elixir opposed to the now 2 elixir barrel, and it couldn't knock back the Prince or Dark Prince, or any tanks actually. Still, the Barbarian Barrel has gradually gotten more and more popular, and is used in a variety of top players' decks. Now that's a redemption story. Number 15. While the Barbarian Barrel went through 11 balance changes, the Witch had a whopping 16, making it the most transformed card in Clash Royale's history. The Witch went through so many changes because it was either too bad or too good. If you compare the Witch in both videos, you could tell one has a massive power difference from the other. There was a period when Witch combined with Elixir Golem would make an almost unstoppable combo. After a load of changes, though, the Witch finally became a balanced card. Though it is still very unpopular with professionals, at a 2% usage rate in grand challenges. Number 16. A new card, the Barbarian Launcher, was recently added. This common card costs 5 elixir, is a defensive building, and shoots boulders that deal area damage. It very closely resembles the Mortar, as it can't shoot cards close to it. Also, they look pretty identical. Number 17. The Super Mini P.E.K.K.A. is the only card that can one-shot anything. While the Super Mini P.E.K.K.A. is an exclusive card, it is most definitely the most powerful out of any card that's ever been brought into the game. In fact, it's so powerful that it deals infinite damage and turns things into pancakes. Number 18. The Barbarian Hut and Heal Spirit have the lowest usage rate in the games, at 0%. Wait, how is that even possible? It's likely more than 0 people use these cards, just that the majority of popular decks don't include them. They're very unpopular. Number 19. The Balloon Skeleton Barrel Rage combo creates the fastest push possible. If you decide to clone this combo, it can quickly 3-crown your opponent. This deck is most commonly used by Brad, who managed to beat one of the best players in the game using it. Brad's actually a really good player. Number 20. Mirror technically costs only 1 elixir, making it one of the cheapest cards in Clash Royale. The lowest cost for spending a mirror, though, is 2, because it costs 1 more than the troop it's mirroring. This also means you can spend 10 elixir at once, as when you mirror the 3 musketeers, it costs 10 elixir, making your entire bar disappear. Number 21. Firecracker moves back 1.5 tiles during each shot she makes, and because of this, she can fully counter a full HP P.E.K.K.A. Firecracker has the same amount of HP as an archer, so she technically is just an archer with a big gun. The Firecracker shoots some fiery substance at its opponents, but against fast troops, she'll actually miss on all of her shots. At least the archers don't miss. Number 22. Mini P.E.K.K.A., Valkyrie, Giant Skeleton, Night Witch, and Royal Giant have gotten their designs changed like this. Why is Clash Royale changing the card design? Nobody knows, but this isn't the first time they've done this. In 2016, Clash Royale changed the designs of Bomber, Arrows, Fireball, and many more. It's likely that across the next year, Clash Royale will have changed every single card design. Number 23. Clash Royale just teased a new champion and new legendary, meaning a 4th champion is on its way into the game. While nobody knows what these new cards are going to be, some speculate that it might be an Electro Titan, a more powerful Electro Giant, or maybe it could be something else. Number 24. When barbarians fight elite barbarians, who wins? Well, barbarians completely destroy them. Still, elites still cost 1 more elixir than barbarians, which is weird considering barbarians are better at defending and harder to kill. That is, unless you throw a fireball. That's why. Number 25. The Inferno Tower has 3 stages where it increasingly deals more damage. A maxed Inferno Tower goes from dealing 140 damage a second on stage 1 to dealing 525 damage on stage 2 to dealing 2,810 damage a second on stage 3. The Inferno Dragon also has 3 stages, but deals a maximum amount of 1,400 damage a second, which is still insane. Both the Inferno Tower and Inferno Dragon take 5 seconds to deal their maximum amount of damage. So, when fighting them, zap it at the 3 to 4 second mark, resetting the flare right before your troops get completely infernoed. Number 26. The first troop to ever get added to Clash Royale were the Archers. From the beginning to the end of 2016, Clash Royale went from having 42 cards to having a total of 70 cards, meaning Clash Royale added a total of 28 cards in just 1 year. Eventually, the amount of cards Clash Royale added became smaller and smaller, until now, when we only get a few cards per year max. Number 27. Royal Hogs deal much more damage than a Hog Rider if left untouched. While Royal Hogs take nearly the full tower, Hog Rider takes around half the tower only. Number 28. A Heal Spirit heals at a rate of 400 health points a second, while it deals 110 damage to troops that aren't on its same side. Regardless of this, as mentioned earlier, almost nobody uses Heal Spirit. Rest in peace. Number 29. Wall breakers can deal up to 1,038 damage if both blow up at the tower. This is the same damage 2 rockets would deal, and for only 2 elixir. Because wall breakers are so fast, the combo of log and wall breakers can't be stopped by a log or a zap, or even a tornado. Number 30. The lumberjack and the log are said to have a special relationship, with the description of the lumberjack being, he chops trees by day and hunts the log by night. When you log a lumberjack though, nothing happens. I wish Supercell would make it so that the lumberjack broke the log in half, or something. Hey, Supercell, if you see this, please do that. Number 31. If you ever see someone place a goblin cage, placing a lightning is actually a pretty good play. The lightning strikes not only the tower, but the goblin cage and the goblin brawler as well. That's a triple kill. Number 32. The goblin hut spawns 11 spear goblins, and because each spear goblin deals 81 damage, a goblin hut can deal 891 damage, which is really annoying to deal with. Because of this, whenever you see a goblin hut, the best move is to probably fireball it. Number 33. The 2 cards with the most hit points are Golem and Lava Hound. The Golem has nearly 7,000 hit points, while the Lava Hound has over 6,000 if you count the pups. But Inferno Tower kills each of them within 10 seconds. Number 34. A rocket takes 3 seconds to reach a tower, while a fireball takes around 2 seconds, making it a much faster option. If you're near the end of the game, make sure to place the rocket before the clock hits 3 seconds, because otherwise, it just won't land. Number 35. Zap can completely kill a skeleton army if placed at the right time. While normally most zaps miss killing all skeletons, if placed as soon as the skeleton army spawns, it'll get all of them. And it's stupidly satisfying. Number 36. People consider Mega Knight the scariest card in Clash Royale. But if a bandit is placed in this position, it can completely counter the Mega Knight while even surviving. In fact, cards like Mini P.E.K.K.A and Prince can pretty easily counter the Mega Knight too. Hell, if you want, you can get a free King Tower activation. Just get some skill, guys. Number 37. Do you think you're rich? Well, the most gems ever seen on an account is 2 million gems, which is so high that if you wanted to buy 2 million gems, you would have to spend nearly $15,000. How fast can you really win a Clash game? Millions of Clash Royale games are played every month, and the fastest win to ever be seen was done in 6 seconds. Everyone likes Magic Archer, so what's the limit? Well, earlier this year, a guy named Evan played over 100 Magic Archers in a single game, completely smashing the previous world record. What if I told you there's a Clash Royale replay that will crash your phone? This guy holds the record for the laggiest Clash Royale replay ever. I think I'll pass watching that one. There's a guy who's been donating troops to his clanmates every single day for 5 years straight. With over 750,000 donations, he wakes up in the middle of the night and skips sleep just to donate troops. Now that's some serious dedication. The world record for most spectators was broken 5 years ago when this YouTuber had 1 million spectators in a game. Well, it was a hacked game, but hey, counts as a record to me. You suck at Clash Royale. Like literally. This guy got 6,511 trophies as a level 1 account, meaning the max level card he could have had was a level 9 legendary, and his King Towers were level 1. One mistake would literally get him 3 crowned, and yet he still has more trophies than me. I quit. Do you like Inferno Dragons? Well, then this one's for you, with a whopping 234 dragons in one game. Now that's an attack I don't think anyone can stop. And from number 12 onwards, these records only get even more insane and hard to beat, leading us to the world's fastest 3 crown, which happened in just 14 seconds, thanks to Goblin Barrels, Clone, Freeze, and Rage. Yeah, good luck trying to beat that. Back in 2016, clan chests used to be unlocked by your clan getting 250 crowns in games. So, this clan dropped trophies and speed ran this chest in just under 13 minutes, completely destroying the previous record. Clan wars have since been updated, making this record literally impossible to beat. Everyone's ran into a level 14 Mega Knight when you have level 11 and level 12 cards. But have you seen a fully maxed out deck at 0 trophies? How is that even possible? Well, this YouTuber called OJ did exactly that. Spending 1,000 and opening the Arena 1 shop chests, he managed to max the starter deck without playing a single game, securing the record for the most overleveled deck in game history. I don't even think my bank account can beat that. The longest Clash Royale game is probably not what you think. Usually, Clash games go for 3 minutes plus overtime. However, every once in a while, games glitch and last way longer than they should, the longest ever recorded being just over 1 hour and 18 minutes. But according to this random guy on Reddit, the record could potentially be infinite, given 1 in several septillion odds. So, happy hunting, guys! We've all seen the leaderboards. 7,000, 8,000 trophies, but did you know someone's account got glitched, meaning they'd only match with low-level players? Well, this happened to Lizard King in 2019, meaning he got to over 20,000 trophies, technically breaking the world record for the most trophies ever in Clash Royale. Why can't this happen to me? Now, things are heating up. What's your highest win streak? 10, 15, 20? Well, beat 112 and you'll have yourself the world record. Yeah, this guy literally won over 100 games without losing. I mean, even with a new account, this is ridiculous. So, unless you're a pro, or this guy, I don't think you'll be beating this record. A player called CRA managed to break the record for the most elixir leaked in a single game, with an insane 1,449 elixir leaked. Through using E-golems, infinite elixir mode, and a lot of skeletons, he beat the previous record by 60 elixir. It's actually super interesting to watch how he did it. A very impressive and very creative record. Now, it's time for the top 5 Clash Royale world records, so buckle up. Ever made a new account and wanted to join a clan, but needed to get to level 3? Well, you should call RJ, because he did this in a little over 3 minutes. I don't even want to know how many accounts he made to get this record. You can't beat getting a legendary, but what else can't you beat? Subscribing? No, silly. Ben Tim's 15 in a row, back-to-back legendary chest opening. Can't believe you didn't get that. Yeah, you heard right. 15 legendaries back to back. This record was set 5 years ago, and still, no one has even come close to beating it. And with a 1 in a 2 million chance of it happening, I don't think anyone will be beating this anytime soon. Now, This next record is so hard, only one person has ever fully completed it. Nobody else has had the time or the patience to even attempt it. This record is a Clash Royale full game speedrun from 0 to 5,000 trophies all in a single sitting. Set by YouTuber Cashman, it took him 9 hours and 14 minutes to beat Clash Royale. It took me 3 months to do that. Yeah. That's not something I'm gonna attempt anytime soon. What is Clash Royale's luckiest chest? Well, let me show you. In 2016, you used to get free chests, and back in the day, getting a legendary in one of these was the luckiest chest you could open. However, recently we've seen an even luckier chest. A chest so lucky that it had a 1 in several million chance of happening. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Clash Royale's luckiest chest. 2 legendaries and a champion you can strike? Yeah, you gotta be pretty lucky to beat that. And for Clash Royale's most insane record, introducing 150 wins in a global tournament, done by Dank Gannon in 2019. This record is pretty much completely unbeatable. You're a good player if you get 10 wins, let alone 15 times that. Gannon himself said it was a mixture of extreme luck and perfect gameplay, something that's almost impossible to replicate with the quality of today's players. Did you know the record for the highest trophy count is over 20,000? 4 years ago, a level 11 player glitched his account to match with only low-level players, beating every single one. Nobody knows how or why this was done, but not a bad record. It's possible to play Clash Royale with only 1 card. If you clear your deck while in the training camp and add back only 1 card, you can win a game with just that 1 troop. Pretty cool. You cannot play Clash Royale in Vietnam. Like, it's literally illegal. This is Clash Royale's rarest emote. Pretty cool. The Ice Wizard's voice lines are spoken in Finnish. In 2016, Clash Royale added a pretty cool Easter egg. When balance changes took 1 skeleton away from the skeleton card, Supercell added 1 to Skarmy. Also, this skeleton's name was Ledoux. Yeah, I don't know either. Also, it's possible to tie in Clash Royale. If in overtime, and both sides take a tower at the exact same millisecond, the game can be announced a draw, which is an extremely rare occurrence. Clash Royale has an emote limit. You can use exactly 100 emotes in a single game before reaching the limit. I hope none of you have done this. Crossbow used to attack your own tower for an April Fool's joke. If you change your language to Japanese or French, the minion will translate to gargoyle. Electro Wizard actually has a crown tower damage stat. Even though it's impossible, the mirror and elixir collector will never appear in a player's starting hand. There are colored names in Clash Royale. In 2016, if you put certain symbols in your name to trick Clash Royale's color recognition system, you could have any color in your name. Hovering over a card in-game shows basic stats. It is possible to play Clash Royale on a fridge. Yeah, this guy did it. If the leader of a clan is inactive for 35 days, ownership is given to the longest standing co-leader. Lava Hound is the only card immune to all forms of knockback. Heal Spell is the only card to ever be removed from Clash Royale. The Flying Machine was first created in the Clash of Clans. You can see its supplies being teased here, and it's believed the Master Builder is the one inside. Super cool Easter egg. Goblin Gang shows 6 in the image, but only 5 in-game. A reference to the Goblin Gang originally having an extra spear goblin. Ice Golem has the lowest damage per second out of any card. The Miner is actually bald. Not sure why or how that is useful, and honestly, it makes sense. But hey, bald lives matter too. Clash Royale once had giant tombstones. In 2016, as an April Fool's update, Supercell gave YouTubers exclusive access to a private server, where, you guessed it, giant tombstones spawn giant skeletons. Now that's April Fool's done right. The Royale Ghost is said to be the ghost of the king. Spooky. Buildings once used to have unlimited time spans. Before the game's soft launch, buildings used to have unlimited time, meaning they would never expire. Yeah, no thanks. Electro Spirit is the only card in Clash Royale to never have received any balance updates, and which is the card that has received the most balance updates. 5 million gold is the max amount of gold you can have on a Clash Royale account. Imagine being that rich. Clash Royale once had Brawl Stars characters. To celebrate the Brawl Stars launch, Clash Royale actually added 2 characters into the vault mode, being replacements for Magic Archer and Musketeer. The Skeleton Barrel was actually made playable before its official release, a few weeks before its intended launch. The Skeleton Barrel was leaked thanks to a bug within mirror mode. Maybe Supercell could also bug out and give us a creator code. No? Okay, moving on. If you challenge someone with a friendly battle on 1v1 mode, you can hold down and select your exact arena that you want to play in. The bandit's real name is Juno, revealed when set to the game's language to Japanese. Crossbow used to be able to target air troops. Yeah, in Clash's soft launch, Crossbow would target both ground and air troops. just like in Clash of Clans. If Crossbow wasn't annoying enough. Clash Royale once had a glitch when if cloned Sparky, while frozen, its clone would unfreeze. It's possible to kill the referee in touchdown if you use a spell fast enough. In the super early stages of Clash Royale's development, the King Tower actually had a wizard on it, with the surrounding archer towers taken straight from Clash of Clans. Man, imagine how OP wizard tower activation would be. The Prince used to be a rare card, while the Mini P.E.K.K.A. used to be epic. Later, they were switched. The Knight, Barbarian, Electro Wizard, and Lumberjack are all voiced by the same person. Electricity! Timber! If you're on top of the leaderboard, Clash Royale will actually send you a custom notification when another top player is searching for a match. I totally know this from personal experience. There are only 4 cards banned in all draft modes: Giant Skeleton, 3 Musketeers, Mirror, and Clone. Mega Knight is the only card with 3 different attack damages: Jump, Spawn, and Melee. In 2016, a glitch allowed you to place an Inferno Tower on the other side of the map. If you managed to fill up all available spaces to put a building on your side of the map, Clash freaks out and puts it in the opponent's corner. As you can imagine, this bug was shortly removed. If a graveyard is placed just before the end of a match, graves will spawn instead of skeletons. It was possible to see how many gems you've bought and got for free. If you changed your language to Japanese and clicked on the gems button, it would give you tons of information. You can make a total of 297,202,526,775 different decks. Tornado was originally going to be called Butterfly Swarm, distracting opponents with, well, butterflies. It's possible to play 4 cards at the same time. Clash Royale used to have quests, later being removed and replaced with card masteries. The cauldron on top of the furnace is actually from a Clash of Clans Halloween update. Could this be the origin of the fire spirits? The Lumberjack created the log with a split rage spell. It's possible to get no epics in an epic chest. If you're in Arena 1 with no epics unlocked, you'll just get rares and common cards. Weird. When skipping wait times on chests, 1 gem accounts for 10 minutes. So, for maximum value, gem every 10 minutes. The chest you get after a game is based on the arena you play in, not what you're in. The Prince and Dark Prince switch their hands when they charge. The Golem can be pulled 180 degrees with a tornado and walk the wrong way for a few seconds. For a time, Royal Giants could shoot as far as a princess. I don't know why they thought that was okay. When Clash Royale first released, you had to pay gold to find a battle. The P.E.K.K.A. is female, and for some reason male in the Spanish version, but we'll just ignore that. Before Clash Royale's release, Cannon and Mortar used to cost 6 elixir each, later being nerfed by Supercell for making games too slow. The Musketeer used to cost 5 elixir, but the Wizard overshadowed her as he was much better able to do splash damage. Supercell reduced her cost to 4 elixir. If you listen closely, you can hear the Mini P.E.K.K.A. say pancakes when he's deployed. After the log was released, the Builder's Workshop arena had a small aesthetic change. Was the log being teased this whole time? If a card has a low usage rate, it will almost always get a buff on an incoming balance update. Trainer Cheddar has unlimited elixir, yet is still super easy to beat. The Mega Minion actually says cupcakes at spawn, if heard closely. 100% of people that use E-Barbs, Rage, and Freeze got left as a child. You can get an account permanently banned for account sharing. So, buddy, looks like no Clash Royale today. There was once a glitch when if you dragged a bomb tower and slid it back to your hand, it would still be there without the bomber. It's impossible to get a negative trophy count. Crown Tower arrows can curve to hit their target, as seen in this video. It's possible to activate King Tower with a cheap card, if your opponent plays Motor. It's also possible to activate King Tower against the Electro Wizard with just Tornado. The P.E.K.K.A.'s Playhouse Arena was named after the single-player map in Clash of Clans. Some of the clan flags are national flags of different countries. Battles used to give you no gold for winning games. Now that's cheap. If you place Battle Ram behind a hunter, it'll push the hunter towards the tower, dealing massive damage. The Super Magical Chest once had a keyhole, but now it doesn't. Weird. Number 1. When Night Witch was first released, it spawned 2 bats every 5 seconds, and upon death, spawned 4 new bats, making it the most powerful card in the game up to date. Supercell quickly took note of this and nerfed it into oblivion. While Night Witch used to be able to kill a tower by itself, it's now kinda bad. Number 2. Freeze used to look like a clone spell, and was much more powerful. And by more powerful, I mean it used to freeze troops for a total of 5 seconds, which would give a max balloon enough time to completely kill the tower. Number 3. Fire spirits used to spawn in a trio of 3, and cost exactly 2 elixir. Isn't that cute? These fire spirits used to be very unpopular, but they still had a bunch of possible tricks, like completely countering a goblin barrel, or completely killing a minion horde, or combining in weird pushes. Number 4. Golem used to have a chain around its neck, and no crystals compared to the version we have now. It also had a custom explosion effect which dealt damage when splitting into 2. Number 5. You see this heal spirit? Forget it. Late in 2016, this was the heal spell. The heal spell was much better at healing things, had better range, but it did cost 1 more elixir. Fast forward to 2022, and now the only healing card we have is the heal spirit, which is still considered worse than the heal spell. Number 6. Free wooden chests used to be in the game. If you look at the top of this image, wooden chests used to be given out every few hours. Same with crown chests, which you could unlock upon destroying 10 crowns. Number 7. In 2015, Clash Royale was actually named Scroll. Scroll was the earliest version of Clash Royale, with 2 wizards for king towers, crystal buildings as towers, and a grassy river as the arena. There was also an elixir bar, storing up to 100 elixir, compared to the 6, 4, and 3 elixir costs these same troops have today. Number 8. Clan Wars used to look like this. Rewards were earned through the clan chest, which had 10 tiers, every tier making the chest slightly better until you had a really, really good chest. This chest, however, was still not guaranteed a legendary card. Fast forward to now. Clan Wars look like this, and the clan chests look like this. Number 9. Mortar used to cost 6 elixir, and Musketeer used to cost 5. Mortar was changed to 4 elixir because it made games way too slow, while Musketeer was changed to 4 elixir because it was worse value than the Wizard. Number 10. Skeletons used to have 4 skeletons spawn in a squarish form. Supercell eventually got rid of one of them and added them to the skeleton army. Even after this nerf, skeletons are still one of the most used cards, even today. Number 11. You see this deck? Yeah. This deck was the most popular deck in 2016 and had the highest win rate at 64.6%. The most popular deck now is Hog Rider 2.6, consisting mainly of Cannon, Musketeer, Hog Rider, and Fireball, which is somewhat similar to the 2016 version of this deck. Number 12. Legendary cards used to be maxed at level 5, with epics maxed out at level 8, rares at level 11, and commons at level 13. Supercell changed all card levels to max out at 14 due to frustration from new incoming players. Number 13. eBarbs players used to have dads before they all left shortly after. Speaking of which, eBarbs used to be a lot more powerful, hitting every 1.5 seconds opposed to the now every 1.7 seconds, which doesn't seem like a huge change, but if you look at this video, it really was. Number 14. King Towers used to be maxed at level 12, until Supercell quickly added level 13, and in 2021, decided to add level 14. Number 15. Miner used to actually deal damage, before the continuous nerfs Supercell eventually decided to deploy, for no reason. There's a joke now that Miner can heal towers, but it seems like every day we're getting a little bit closer to that becoming a reality. Number 16. Many card designs used to look a lot different, many of which had an old school look to them. Clash Royale took all of these old designs and replaced them with new, brighter, and clearer designs. Weirdly, now Clash is starting to replace those with ultra new designs. I don't really know what to think about that. Number 17. Ice Spirit used to freeze troops for 1.5 seconds, compared to the 0.5 seconds it freezes them now. Again, though this may seem like a minimal change, it actually made the Ice Spirit much worse. Number 18. You see this? Yeah, this was Legendary Arena, but it was at 3,800 trophies compared to the 5,000 it's at now. While it used to be many trophies lower, it was still much harder to reach, as players were a lot more competitive back then. Number 19. Emotes used to be limited to the selection of these. Now, 6 years later, there's over 200 emotes to choose from in a battle. Number 20. Expo used to hit its own tower, and nobody knows why, but on April Fools, Supercell added this. Number 21. If you and your opponent hadn't taken a tower, the game would end in a draw. Overtime was not a thing back then, and the game didn't count down who had more health points. Number 22. Battles used to cost gold, but this was later changed when Supercell received numerous complaints from players labeling it pay to win. Literally. Number 23. Royal Giant used to shoot nearly as far as a princess, bypassing any kind of defensive unit. This is now fixed, as Inferno Tower and Tesla can fully counter it. Well, kinda. Number 24. Clash Royale's logo used to look like this, and now it looks like this. While the old one is nostalgic, the new one does look a lot better. Number 25. Valkyrie Prince was one of the most popular combos, but Valkyrie Prince now is never used because of so many things being able to counter them. For example, P.E.K.K.A counters Valkyrie Prince. Ice Golem skeletons counter Valkyrie prints. Giant skeleton counters Valkyrie prints, and so on and so forth. Number 26. The super magical chest was the most expensive and desired chest until poof. It vanished and was replaced by the legendary King's Chest, which was a huge upgrade. Number 27. Balloon was so bad in 2016 that Supercell had to increase the damage by 105% and the bomb radius by 50% just to make it viable. Number 28. 3 Musketeers cost 10 elixir and were eventually buffed so that they'd cost 9 elixir for all 3. While as 10 elixir they were bad, the eventual buff to 9 elixir made 3 Musketeers extremely popular in decks such as these. A bunch of changes eventually just made them unplayable, and look at the usage right now. Number 29. Expo originally attacked air troops, which made it even more annoying than it is now. Because Expo could attack air troops at launch, it's possible that back then, Expo could have been a legitimate counter to Lava Loon decks, as Expo would have been able to counter air troops from a far distance. Number 30. In 2016, Mir gave troops an extra level for a cost of 1 extra elixir. While Mir was fun to use in casual matches, it never really found its place in meta. Bam! Oh god. Mir became a lot more popular once the 2-level gap was released and brought level 16 cards to the arena. This was again changed like 2 weeks ago, so now Mir only gives 1 extra level. The same as 2016. Number 31. Tournament chests in 2016 could literally max your account. While chests now are alright, and the designs look quite good, as shown here, chests back in 2016 were much better. And I mean much, much better. Let's see the contents of this chest. I'll fast forward. Yeah, that's a lot. Number 32. The 0 elixir barrel shown here was in the game for one special event before being mysteriously removed. This 0 elixir barrel is presumed to have been replaced by the 2 elixir barbarian barrel, which has a pretty good win rate, but isn't nearly as cool. Number 33. Clash Royale loading screens progress throughout the years in exactly this order. If you take a look at the first loading screen from 2016 and compare it with the new one here, you can tell just how many new cards were added into the game. It's crazy, really. Number 34. In 2016, the Clash Royale item shop looked like this. You can immediately tell cards back then cost less gold, with prices at 220 and 1,000 opposed to the now 800, 2,000, 3,000, and 40,000 prices that we have today. You can even buy cards with gems now, or you can use my creator code. Number 35. In 2016, the only cards that could cross the water were literally just Flying Troops and Hog Rider. Now, in 2022, the Healer, Prince, Dark Prince, Royal Hogs, Mega Knight, and countless other flying troops can all do the same. Ugh. Number 36. The Elixir Collector used to be a pretty good defensive mechanism. People used to actually use it to defend pushes and tank damage. When Supercell nerfed Elixir Collector's health points twice, it became the back of the tower, hope you don't fireball, weakling unit it is now. Number 37. From a teleportation portal to a literal bear trap. Here are 15 Clash Royale ideas Supercell almost added to the game, but didn't. And we hired an animator to make all of these ideas come to life. Number 1. You ever wanted to teleport? So why doesn't Supercell add portals? Truth is, they did try making one. The portal would work by placing a portal entrance, and then a portal exit, which would teleport your troops to the opposite side of the arena. While the portal costs 4 elixir and looks like it'd completely break the game, it actually wouldn't. A fireball would be enough to defend. Supercell ultimately decided not to add the portal in, instead bringing in the Mighty Miner, who basically does the same teleport function the portal was intended for. Number 2. You've seen the Wizard Tower from Clash of Clans, right? Well, did you know Supercell was gonna add those to Clash Royale as towers? In fact, one of the ideas was to make the Wizard Tower replace the in-game Princess Tower. The Wizard Tower would have dealt area damage, and would have likely been much more powerful than the Princess variant. Maybe Supercell actually made a good choice on this one, removing the Wizard Tower from Clash Royale for good. Number 3. Supercell's already added dragons. But Clash Royale was about to have an actual dragon, like the dragon you see right here. Ultimately, Supercell decided against it, mainly because the dragon was just way too big to fit in the arena. The dragon would have cost 6 elixir, been a legendary, and also would have had around the same health as a golden knight. Since Supercell recently added the Phoenix, that's likely the closest we're getting to an actual dragon. Rest in peace. Number 4. What if you could have infinite elixir? If you take a look at this building here, it makes that dream a reality. The building is called the Elixir Storage, which makes it so that you can save up to 100 elixir at a time. Pair that with a full elixir bar and you can spawn as many troops as you'd like at the same time. While having up to 100 elixir is cool, this would have made the games way too chaotic, almost to the point where no skill would be involved whatsoever. And I know even right now there's no skill, but hey, just imagine 20 phoenixes. Yeah, no thanks. Number 5. You ever notice a similarity between these two cards? Probably. While in the trailers, Golden Knight is portrayed as a self-obsessed loser, he's actually just the replacement for what was supposed to be the Barbarian King. We animated a Barbarian King just to show you how it would have looked. We even added the custom ability and spawner pad as a defensive mechanism. While Supercell likely won't add the Barbarian King ever, if you compare the Barbarian King in Clash of Clans versus the Knight in Clash Royale, they sort of attack in the same way. The Knight is pretty much just a nerfed version of the Barbarian King, without the ability. Number 6. Clash Royale was, at one point, about to add an elite Barbarian spawner, which would have cost 8 elixir, one more than the Barb Hut, but a lot scarier looking. This spawner would spawn a whopping 4 elite Barbarians at a time, making it a lot more annoying than regular elite Barbarians together. Technically, each elite Barbarian costs 3 elixir, so wow, this is literally way too OP. I mean, it spawns 4 elite Barbarians at a time, which is probably why Supercell never brought it into the game. Number 7. The Trojan Horse. Okay, picture a battle ram. Now, picture a huge wooden horse walking towards your tower. Not good. The Trojan Horse was an idea Supercell was planning to introduce into the game. Working like protection, the horse would come close to the enemy's tower and, once reached, destroy everything. It would also cost 6 elixir and be characterized as a building, which would actually make it the first ever Clash Royale building to be able to move. Cannon Cart is not a building, by the way. It's a troop. Number 8. What do you think this is? Wait, is that a mini Sparky? Yeah, mini Sparkies were an idea suggested for the game, which might have looked a little bit like this, thanks to our animator. While this idea would certainly never get approved in the game, if it did, it would have cost 9 elixir and definitely would have been a legendary. These mini Sparkies deal just as much damage as a big Sparky, but die to spells like Log. But you know who else dies to Log? People who don't subscribe. Shameless, I know. Look guys, just subscribe. Number 9. Since Tesla's been nerfed over and over and over, many players will be surprised to know that Supercell wanted to make an overpowered Tesla. Okay, no, not that overpowered. The Chain Tesla. A Tesla that could attack over 3 troops at once, similar to the chain effect of the Inferno Tower in Clash of Clans. However, Supercell ended up scrapping this idea, saying it wasn't really unique enough to become a card of its own. Number 10. If you want a card better than the Mini P.E.K.K.A. and even stronger than the P.E.K.K.A. itself, you can try the Mega P.E.K.K.A. The Mega P.E.K.K.A. should never have made it off the drawing board. It was just way too overpowered to even touch the arena, and I'll tell you why. The Mega P.E.K.K.A. was intended to have 3 forms. The first dealing infinite damage, but having low health. This version being similar to the Super Mini P.E.K.K.A., which also seemed to deal infinite damage, but in actuality only dealt 160,000 damage. Garbage, I know. The second version of the Mega P.E.K.K.A. was literally just a P.E.K.K.A. that spawned a Mini P.E.K.K.A. when it died, also overpowered. And last but not least, the third version of the Mega P.E.K.K.A. was a P.E.K.K.A. that only targeted towers. This one seems less overpowered, but Supercell rejected it, thinking it was just too weird. I mean, realistically, everyone was just gonna use the first one anyway. Number 11, Multi-Target Inferno Tower. This is similar to the multi-target Tesla, except it's already an existing concept in Clash of Clans. In fact, it's one of the most useful defenses against any Clash of Clans attacking troops. But alas, the multi-target Inferno Tower was rejected by Supercell. I mean, there was no way they were gonna add 2 Inferno Towers. Number 12, do you like Christmas? I mean, duh, who doesn't? Supercell, following the trend, was gonna add a card called the Gift Spell. These are Clash Royale's typical spells, and this is the Gift Spell. The Gift Spell randomly selected one of the 109 cards in the game and let you play it, even if it wasn't in your deck. Honestly, this is one of the coolest features I've ever heard rumors about, and as a gambling addict myself, I want this one in. Number 13, this is the Hologram Tower. So what the heck does it do? The Hologram Tower, once played, looks like a completely normal tower to your opponent. Actually, no, that looks really weird. Even though this was probably one of Supercell's dumber ideas, it would have been really cool to see in game, and to see just how useless it might have been. Like, dude, I literally saw you place a tower down. Number 14. The Bear Trap was a 4 elixir epic card that would have been able to place, being completely invisible to your opponents. When your opponents placed a card that walked in the area of the Bear Trap, it would deal loads of damage. Since this is an animation, we just made it kill them, because why not? While the Bear Trap was a super cool idea, being similar to various traps in Clash of Clans, it just wasn't meant to be, as Supercell rejected it with the reason never being fully revealed. Number 15, the Ghost. Well, the Ghost was basically the Royal Ghost, except it looked way cooler and cost 1 more elixir. It holds a chain and looks like a Halloween outfit, but unfortunately, this design was rejected by Supercell